brought to you almost live from the Dude in the Basement studios. Why? Because that's where the good stuff is. It's Sips, Suds, and Smokes with your smoking host, the good old boys. And now it's sippin' time.
Yes, it's sippin' time again. Hello and welcome to this Sips episode where everything good in life is worth discussing. As always, we are the best thing on at 2 a.m.
No, we are the best thing on at 2 and 3 a.m.
Is there anything actually else on at 2 a.m.?
No, but that makes us number one.
That's,
right.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's a very limited field. So, I'll take it. We're still number one. So, this is Made Man Bob, and joining me today are Made Man Brent.
Thanks. I went out fishing today in the Everglades and started a little fire to prepare myself for today's episode.
For those who don't live in Florida, the Everglades are on fire, an uncontrolled fire, and we're getting the smoke right now. Thank you, Brent. Appreciate that.
He was also catching alligators because he thinks he's Steve Irwin
Were
reincarnated.
you really? Nice.
Oh, yeah. You got to have some fun. You just tease them and pull them in and then let them go. So,
that poor lady in, was it South Carolina? Who was
drinking wine,
drinking too much wine, and I just want to pet him. He'll be cool.
yeah, that works.
Yeah.
What did she lose?
her life.
Your life, yeah.
They drag her under.
Oh, yeah. They get a hold of you. They jerk you in and take you under and stick you under a log.
Alligators. No matter how much you're drinking, do not pet the alligators.
If you're not from Florida and grew up around them like I did, like all of us, stay away. If you're from New York, stay away from the alligators.
She was from South Carolina. She knows what alligators are.
Might as well be New York. Damn Yankees. That's 800 miles north of here.
I think we're banned in another state now.
Yeah,
Where's
that's
that
800 miles from here. Good Lord. And we got Made Man Maury.
Good morning, Bob. Thank you for the haggis and neeps for breakfast. It's a nice touch to go with the scotch.
Whenever we have a scotch, it's the exact same thing he says every time. You think he would come up with a new tagline of some sort at some
Do the
point?
Scottish eat anything else, though? That's the problem.
No, they eat plenty of stuff. Yeah.
What do they eat?
Well, if you go to Iowa, they have a place called the Pizza Place, Peatza.
No way.
Yeah, I'm dying to go.
Peat smoked pizza?
I don't know if they use peat to cook it. It's just called the Pizza. It's in the village of Bemore, and it's called the Pizza, Peat.
I want peat smoked pizza.
I so desperately wanted to go.
Yes, we're going. We're getting a trip up.
There were a couple of kids on that press trip with me. There's two kids from Russia, and I'm like, guys, you want to go? You want to go? You want to go? And we ended up going to a little pub instead and never made it to the pizza place.
I can see that because you couldn't convince the Russians of anything, but they twisted your arm and got you drinking. I got you. Yeah.
Well, we got there and all of a sudden they realized I'm from America and they're from Russia and they started buying us more and more art bags. So we were happy to take what we got. So shut up.
By way of apology.
We got good old boy Justin.
Hey, good morning, Bob. And Brent, thanks for the orange alligator wallet. I don't know why it's orange, but thank you.
Florida Gator.
Right.
It's a Florida Gator.
Right,
it's got to be orange or blue.
Yeah. Orange or blue, right?
Yeah.
Both.
Yeah. And Harmeet.
Whatever, man. And Harmeet. That's the thanks I get.
That's all you get. Yeah.
Better late than never.
Yeah.
You're lucky we even given you that. Because every time I look at you, all I think is,
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
There you go. See?
I'm literally the skinniest guy at this table, you mother...
Oh, I take issue with that. We could say Harmeet, almost PhD, almost MD, almost master's.
Nothing. Almost nothing. You never finished anything. I never finished anything. Thanks, Mom. I appreciate it.
You had to bring up the mommy issues. Now he's going to be in the corner, and we got to go talk him out. He's going to be sitting there rocking back and forth, and the drool's going to come out again. Thanks a lot, dude. Now I got to go talk him down.
She blames my first wife because, it's always the blondes. It's always the blondes.
Tell me about your childhood.
Yes. Tell me why you hate your mother.
Back in time.
Why is it that you hate your mother?
No. I love my mother. That's the problem. That's the problem. I'm a mama's boy.
Well, Brent, Maury, and myself are with the Bourbon Mafia. The Bourbon Mafia is a nonprofit organization Composed of bourbon enthusiasts and industry professionals with representation in 8 states and 2 countries, our members combine a love of bourbon with a passion for charitable work. The group uses their love of our native spirit to raise money for local and national charities through rare bottle auctions and other theme events. You can check us out on Facebook at The Bourbon Mafia. We're also sponsored in part by the Florida Whiskey Society. To find out more about the society and their events, visit them at ftlws.com.
Oh, my God, you get it right the first time. I love that.
And our show is also sponsored in part by Spirits Fine City Cooper, some hole-in-the-wall liquor store.
Whatever.
Fine Spirits in Cooper City, Florida, home of the still not working Enomatic machines.
They're never going to work, man. Just give it up. I just take them out.
Serving great wines and whiskeys and other spirits by the glass. If you just take the bottle and pour it in the glass because the machine doesn't work, you can find them
$70,000 I spent
on Facebook at Fine Spirits.
Yeah.
And our sip segments are all about wine, distilled spirits, tea, and coffee. And today's show is on the fine whiskeys from Compass Box.
Thank you, Mom.
Our samples today were graciously provided to us by Pete Friello, who is the Southeast Regional Manager for Compass Box.
We love you, Pete.
Love you, buddy.
Pete, you're my boy.
And here's a list of the whiskeys that we're going to be tasting today. So we're going to be starting out with Compass Box The Circle. We have Compass Box Juveniles, Compass Box Spice Tree Extravaganza, Compass Box Stranger and Stranger, Compass Box Tobias and the Angel, Compass Box Flaming Heart, and Compass Box No Name.
Number 2.
So we're going to have Justin tell us all about our sips ratings and whatever accent he chooses to pick. Right now, I think it should probably, since he's sitting next to Harm, it should probably be Sigmund Freud.
No, do your Indian. I want to hear it.
No problem.
That's awesome.
Yep, I got it. One sip. Give me a glass of water to wash out my mouth.
That's good.
That's pretty good.
All right, I'll take your word for it. But
2 sips, but what else do you have?
no.
Isn't that nice?
3 sips. Interesting. What was this again?
No, still not.
You don't
feeling it.
bob your head enough. You need to bobble your head a little bit more while you do it. It'll bring out the accent. Go ahead.
4 sips. Let's keep this secret to ourselves. Pour me another.
Still not
Bobble like
buying
a white
it.
man. He bobbles like a white man.
Yeah, he does.
You can only see his head moving.
You can try and train him all you want, Harm, but you never. He's only ever going to be so good.
5 sips. Oh my. I was unaware anything could be this good.
No,
Oh my goodness!
nah, just not feeling it.
I'm
today.
applauding.
I'm not feeling it today. No.
whatever.
All right, so let's have our favorite Scotch guy, Brent.
Yes, Brent.
Tell us a little bit about Compass Box.
I'd be happy to. Thank you. Compass Box is a company that is well known to the fans of the show. We've had them on a number of times.
Oh yeah,
Yes, it's
We love
founded
Compass
in
Box.
2000 by John Glaser, former marketing director at Johnny Walker. Compass Box is one of the most innovative whiskey blenders in the world. Sourcing casks from different distilleries and using the blender's art to come out with a unique and superior product. Rather than handcuff their shelves by strictly adhering
Themselves.
to the old...
themselves, not shelves.
It's themselves, and Bob's Southern Hick comes out with their selves. So you should say their selves because it's on the script.
Yeah.
Say it. Do it
He
in
said
Bob's
shelves.
Their selves.
Themselves. By strictly adhering...
No, their selves is their selves. Their selves.
By strictly adhering to the old ways, Compass Box has made a name for themselves through creativity, innovation, and occasionally a little irreverence in their quest to make blends cool again. I think they've done a good job.
I agree 100%.
Yeah. On a prior show, we discussed the original Spice Tree blend, in which they took a blend of single malts and treated them to a secondary maturation in cask containing additional toasted French oak inserts inside the barrels. The end product was a fantastic blend that received a lot of attention from the public and even more from the Scotch Whisky Association,
Boo, hiss.
who declared this new finishing
Anti-innovation.
technique as illegal. After some legal wrangling, a compromise was reached, and Compass Box changed the method of their secondary maturation by removing the internal staves and instead substituting toasted French oak heads on the barrels.
Yep.
It's very cool. I love what John Glaser does. He's awesome.
Well, that was one of the best things we did at the Whiskey Society.
Is it Glaser or Glaser?
Glaser. It was about 4 years ago. John was in town, and we did the Compass Box dinner, like 6-7 course dinner with about 9 or 10 whiskeys over at Rojo. Oh my God,
that was 3 years ago, man.
That was
don't put it
really, really great.
My very first whiskey tasting I ever did with the show, with the store, was at almost 15, 16 years ago. John Glaser was there. He's awesome.
Yeah, John's a great guy. Very, very kind with his knowledge. He'll sit there and answer the most silly questions you can possibly ask. And a damn amazingly fine blender. So we're going to go on to our first one. We're going to have Maury tell us about that one.
Thank you, Bob. First release today will be the Compass Box The Circle, release number 1. 46% ABV, non-age dated, non-chill filtered, and no added coloring. This release was 6,151 bottles worldwide. This limited edition was born out of Compass Box's Bartenders Competition. The competition winner, Rosie Mitchell, won the chance to create a blend with Compass Box founder John Glaser and whiskey maker Jill Boyd. Rosie wanted to make an approachable whiskey to be shared with friends, something for the daytime, a whiskey with brightness. She called it Sunshine in a Glass. The Circle is based around a parcel of fruity and creamy single malt from the Tamdu Distillery in Speyside. This is supported by malt whiskey from Clynelish Distillery, a touch of peated malt from the Orkney Distillery, and a small proportion of French oak finished blended malt whiskey complete the recipe. This expression consists of 78.8% Tamdu, aged in first fill bourbon barrel, 14.8% Clynelish, aged in a refill sherry butt, 4.9% malt whiskey from an undisclosed Orkney distillery, aged in a recharred American oak hogshead, and 1.5% Highland malt blend, aged in custom light toast French oak casks. That's a big mouthful. Release of 6,151 bottles worldwide. So let's talk about the whiskey. Color, very light, pale yellow.
There's no time, man. Come on.
And we'll be back.
And we're back. And now Maury can start.
He literally had 2 seconds left. He's like, let me tell you about this whiskey. All right. It's not that fast.
So the Compass Box, The Circle, release number 1. Beautiful pale yellow color, a little hint of gold. It's got a really nice nose, a lot of fruit, a lot of just deliciousness on the nose. On the palate, apple, vanilla, a little bit of malt. It's definitely got a lot of fruitiness. Mouth coating, just really a delicious whiskey. I think she did a beautiful job. I do love the name Sunshine in a Glass. I think it's a fabulous whiskey. It's really very approachable, enjoyable by just about anybody. And, they mentioned a little hint of smokiness. There's definitely some smoked whiskey in there, but I really don't get much smoke at all. I thought it has a medium finish, kind of pleasant. This is definitely, I would consider a non-smoky whiskey.
Yeah.
What do you think,
It's
Brett?
got a brightness to it.
I got a lot of spice to this as well. So I got fruit and spices. It really came off nice on the palate. Nice general mouthfeel on this. It was, and I didn't get the smokiness on it. I really enjoyed this. This was
You're the most sensitive person I know to smoking. You don't get the smokiness?
No, I don't get the smokiness on this one.
Smoking. It builds on the palate.
No, not really.
No, I get the fruit.
This reminds me a little bit of
I get-
Spice Tree. It's got spice. It's got fruit.
Yeah, I mean, it's got like a white pepper that just kind of like coats your mouth with and then fruit, just built around fruit on that. It's really enjoyable.
What'd you guys eat before you drank?
Your basket full of oranges. Yeah. Why?
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the dirty joke, Bob.
No, just a basket full of oranges. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
Justin?
I don't know.
So I thought this was pretty nice, refreshing. I got malt, tangerine, apples on the nose, on the palate, apple, vanilla, and malt. Air did not help this one. This is one you should just drink.
I think the water helped a little bit on the nose.
To the head.
Yeah, give it a little bit of water. Give it a shot of water there. It's good.
I think Harm was right. I think the little water helped both the nose and the palate a little bit.
I thought the nose was muted with that water. The water did bring out the nose. And
Water fixed it. Harm's right.
Yeah. As always, just say it. Water, bring me water.
There's a saying, a blind pig will find an acorn once in a while. So, don't get cocky.
What'd you think, Harm?
I love this whiskey. I've never had it before. I'm glad to taste it today. Pete, you're gonna have to send me some cases
Can I see
of
the
this.
bottle?
Very pretty, solid whiskey, golden with little green glints. At first, it was very muted. I didn't love the nose at first, but the palate I really enjoyed. And when I did add the water, the fruit and spice, just as Brent was saying, comes out. The nose, when I add the water, I get that ginger spice on the nose. And a little bit of smoke, and I don't understand. I cannot believe these guys aren't getting the smoke because Tamdu uses peat, Kleinleash uses peat, and the undisclosed Orkney Distillery. It's either Scapa or Highland Park. There's 2 distilleries there. There's only one with a big enough name that would say you can't say us, and I'm going to tell you it's Highland Park. So it's probably Highland Park because Scapa would be like, yeah, you can advertise. I'm just saying, I love this whiskey. I think it's pretty good, but it doesn't stand up to the other ones that come later, though.
I mean, adding that little bit of water, you got, a real light. Gosh, so light as smoke that the fruit and the pepper, the fruit and the spice really.
Well, remember, you can't
it over.
compare it. You can't rate it based off other whiskey. You have to
you're
rate
right,
each
you're
one individually.
It's a good whiskey, but it didn't blow me away. It's just very well balanced, and the fact that he didn't pick up the smoke. Brent,
the whole point of it was, when Maury was reading it off, it's basically, it was made, to make
time drinker
an approachable Compass Box blend
for everybody.
And I think they did a great job. If you get something that's got this huge nose, and really, really, really deep, insane with all kinds of smoke and everything,
it's going to turn off a lot of people.
It's going to turn off a lot of people. And honestly, you want an approachable whiskey. If I'm going to introduce somebody to Compass Box, this is the one I'm going to give them. I'm going to say, here, try this and see what these guys did with this. It's, it's going to help get them into it.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from, and I guess I see where they're coming from. So,
And Tamdu,
Sunshine in a glass.
Tamdu's not, Lafroig, buddy. It's not, it's not smoky, and even Highland.
Tamdu's a space side.
And even Highland Park's not smoky. So
these are not Isla whiskeys in here at all.
I get no smoke off of it, and I love Tamdu.
You don't get the smoke, really.
No, and I think the reason I'm digging it is I'm a big Tamdu fan anyway. I really like their stuff.
I love Tamdu too.
Especially what they're putting out now. They're putting out some really just stunning stuff.
There's a bunch of snobs in Scotland who think there's no distilleries that start with the letter T that are any good.
Yeah, well, like with them, I'm not in Scotland, so Tamdu is a great whiskey. I actually had Gordon Dundas at my office last year, just before we went up to Sarasota, and got to spend some time with him and the importer, and we went through a bunch of stuff. He actually brought some samples of some stuff that's not available here. Great.
Tell, because I'm
whiskey.
ready for some. I have some good cast strength editions on the shelf, but I need some of these.
Yeah, I think it's a great effort. It's exactly what they were trying to do. So we're gonna give this a solid 3 sips.
It's verging on 4. The more.
I'm pushing toward 4, but nobody listens to me. So,
No, I agree with you. I thought it was
The longer
4.
it sits in the glass,
it's a
it's coming
beautiful
up,
whiskey.
yeah.
It's sat in
All
the
right,
glass
the hell
for
with
quite
it.
some time.
We're giving it 4.
We're giving it 4. There you go.
That's classified.
All right, so we're moving on to our next whiskey, and we're going to have Justin tell us about that.
And thank you, Rosie, for helping John create this beautiful whiskey.
Yes, thank you, Rosie.
Our next product is the Compass Box Juveniles. It's 46% alcohol by volume, and it's non-chill filtered and no added coloring. For over 30 years, Juveniles Bistro Vin in the first arrondissement of Paris has been the crossroads for winemakers, spirits producers, writers, and various sorts of affable hedonists from all over the world.
That means hippies.
Right. Compass Box and Juveniles share a similar approach to good food and drink, seeking out integrity and not taking things too seriously. Both businesses are obsessed with quality and provenance, and both like to do things in their own way. And who doesn't? This expression consists of 34% Strathmill, aged in refilled hogsheads, 34% Ballinache, aged in refill hogsheads, 20% Kleinleash, aged in refilled hogsheads, and 10% Kleinleash, aged in refill sherry butts. And I love a big butt, I cannot lie.
Jeez.
2% Glendulin, aged in first fill sherry butts, release of 14,894 bottles worldwide.
Do you prefer a first fill butt to a second fill butt?
I'll take any big butt I can get.
He's always on the second fill.
Yeah.
Right?
Justin, sloppy seconds, Justin.
Mean.
You're so horrible.
Yeah.
And the color was a light yellow on the nose. I got
It's a
It was
beautiful
yellow.
gold.
Yeah.
right.
It's pale, a pale gold.
yeller.
Yeller. It's yeller.
It's very
Yeller.
pale.
It's got a hint. It's got a hint of red glint in there.
You
Right.
obviously have a wonderful economy with words. I look forward to your next syllable with great eagerness.
On the nose, I got malt, sherry, plums, and cherries. On the palate, sugar, pear, and vanilla were prominent, and there was kind of a
hell's a
herbal
sugar
character. What's that?
What the hell's a sugar pear?
A sugar pear. I have no
pear.
idea.
Sugar,
It's sugar and pear.
Sugar bear is a Huggy Bear.
No. Sugar Bear's the one on the cereal box.
It's a Huggy Bear. It's a
Huggy
Huggy Bear was
Yeah.
Huggy Bear was the man.
That was a great show. And on the finish, there was a little smoke, and it was pretty pleasant. What did you think, Maury?
I agree with you, Justin. I thought this was a very pleasant whiskey. I actually preferred the first one a little bit more, but this is a really well-made whiskey. I think it's beautiful. It's got all the things you've mentioned. Easy drinker, definitely an all-day sipper. Beautiful, way to introduce somebody to the Compass Box line, and I liked it quite a lot. Brent?
Okay, first thing I want to tell everybody about the bottle, which you guys pointed out. On the bottom of the bottle is a bell.
Yeah.
inside the punt.
Inside the bottom of the bottle. It's,
It's
really
one of the
cool.
only Scotch bottles I've ever seen with a punt.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
it's
they-
very
they
neat.
Need, they need to put a punt in that bear to mount
It's very
the
neat.
bell.
Yeah, because if
And,
you put the bell in the scotch, it won't ring. I shake the hell out of it. It's never going to make a damn sound. Trust me, I tried.
But it's
But
that's
it's
kind
by
of a
wine
neat
bottle.
little
It's like
novelty
cool.
thing that they have with it. That was brought out there.
Well,
But-
that's Compass Box. They
Yeah.
all their stuff. The labels are always so dang cool. The
Oh.
names are always really interesting. They do such an amazing
it is a
visual
gorgeous-
presentation on their packaging.
exactly, and that's why I wanted to highlight that. But what it is, this is a nice fruity Scotch. This is what a little bit of smokiness on the end on your palate, but yeah, I get the pears.
You didn't get butterscotch. Neither of you mentioned
No,
butterscotch.
I didn't get
No, I didn't get
butterscotch.
butterscotch. I
first
got
I
a
got-
little
at
bit
first I
of
got
flowers,
butterscotch.
a little bit of pears,
100% flowers. Yeah.
and it's just a pleasant drinker. You just want to
Right?
sit
All-day sipper.
an all-day sipper. Exactly. You just want to put this in a glass. Sit outside by the pool, and even throw an ice cube in it and enjoy yourself.
This probably would be nice with ice. You're right.
Yeah.
Bob, may I have an ice cube, please?
Get your big butt up and go to the kitchen and get it. I'm not your mother.
Harm, what's your thoughts on this one?
I think this is a beautiful whiskey. It's been a long time since I've had this. It's a little bit pricey, but it's quite
Still
good.
available?
I have maybe 4 bottles left. I don't know what's left in the state. We got to talk to Pete. This is a hard one to get. Almost everything Pete sent us today was really hard to find whiskeys that are they're gone, except for maybe this edition of Flaming Heart that's coming up, and this Compass Box, what it's called, the No Name Number 2. But these, you'll find these on the shelves, because nothing they sent us was a really introductory price level here today. Everything was like some of their higher end. This one is
Pete's our friend. He takes care of us.
yeah. Thank you, Pete. Butterscotch. I got the plum that Justin said. The flowers that Brent said. They're there, and nobody said butterscotch except me, except Bob. Butterscotch? No. Yes. No.
On the nose, yeah.
Let's see. Thank
Yeah.
you. I'm vindicated.
Right in the tip. Right in the very tip. Not deep in, but right in the tip.
Anyway, it's all about the barley sugar. It's just a great whiskey. It's palate coating, beautiful fruit. I don't really get much of the sherry. They say there's 2%. Well, it's only 2% first fill sherry butts from Glendullan. So it's a long and sweet and pleasing finish. It's a nice whiskey. I want more. They only sent us 1 bottle. That's the problem. Bob, what do you think?
Happy with what I can get. Yeah, I get that butterscotch on the tip, and the flowers I get.
It's white flowers, right? White flowers. It's not violets, it's not roses.
I don't know. I'm getting violets.
I thought violets at first, but then it goes to white flower.
Violets deep in the nose, and the white flowers on the tip of the nose. It's absolutely lovely.
I mean, literally scratched out the word violets, so now you're bringing violets back up.
Deep in, down deep in the sinuses. I mean, what more can you say? I mean, it's a great whiskey. We're giving it 4 sips.
Yes, beautiful.
So we're moving on to our next one. We're going to have Brent tell us all about that one.
Thanks, Bob. Our next product is the Compass Box Spice Tree Extravaganza. 46% ABV. It's a non-chill filtered and no added coloring. This is bottled for the 10th anniversary of the original Spice Tree. This expression consists of 32.6% Glen Ord aged in first fill sherry butts, 17% Ben Rhines aged in first fill sherry butts, 2.6%
Altabane. I'm gonna jump in on that one right away. Yeah.
Aged in first fill American standard barrels, 27.7% undisclosed Highland malt.
It's a mystery.
Mystery abound. It's aged in light and medium toast hybrid casks, 4.3% undisclosed Highland malt, aged in refilled hybrid casks, and 15.6% undisclosed Highland malt, aged in heavy toast hybrid casks.
That's a lot of undisclosed.
That is a lot.
I mean, Highland.
Yeah, you got 15 and 4 and 27.
Pretty atypical, because
it's almost 50% of.
The thing that made me fall in love with Compass Box at the beginning was the fact that they're so transparent. They tell you where stuff's coming from.
Well, sometimes you can't, though.
But look, this is the thing. They're not allowed to tell you a lot of these
non-disclosure agreements.
No.
But you know what they can do? Sometimes if you send them an email or a tweet, and they might DM you back with the answers.
Yeah. But the point is that they're much more transparent. Well, Scotch in general is more transparent than American bourbon. You can have 10 products all come from MGP and nobody tells you that. Here, you're very, very much more likely to know what distillery they come from.
Yeah, you're right.
He's very open about refilled casks versus first fill casks. He makes a big point of saying he's doing it based on taste, not just based on numbers.
The fact that he doesn't add color, I don't think he's ever added color to his whiskeys.
Not one I've ever had.
So they're allowed to add color in Scotland.
Yeah, but I mean the color.
This is definitely not light yellow. Look how red
this is. A gold. This is like a light gold.
This has got some copper glints here.
Yeah, it's got a glint of
red
copper.
gold.
Well, what's your tasting notes on it, Brent?
Yep. This is on the nose. I get a lot of berries on the nose. Berries and a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of vanilla on it. It's
we're thinking sherry casks.
Yeah,
it's undisclosed distillery.
Yeah, but you get that sweetness on it on the palate. Really, you get the cherries and the cherries. You get sugar. You get a little bit of ginger on there. And,
a little bit. I got a lot. No.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the ginger comes out. I mean, it does come out and stuff on it. But some cloves. The finish is just long lasting. It's beautiful finish. I mean,
it's a beautiful whiskey.
It is. It's just
really beautiful.
I mean, it's, you can just sit, you can drink this one all night long, not all day, all night long.
Pete and Curse Pete, because this is a whiskey that's no longer available.
No,
Spice Tree Extravaganza came out years ago.
This is beautiful, If
you find this as an old dusty, just pick it up.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a bourbon drinker, you're going to love this. This is great.
I think I bought my last bottle of Spice Tree at
Extravaganza.
At the dinner when John Glaser was in town and we had the dinner.
With Chef George's place. Yeah. But we had Spice Tree, but Extravaganza was already gone. I've got Spice Tree on the shelf, the regular one. The Extravaganza is just made with older whiskeys and a different blend. It's just
beautiful packaging. I mean, he does an amazing. Listen, you can criticize things like Absolute Vodka for putting their money into marketing and packaging and not what's in the bottle, but these guys have the full package.
Names, man.
They put in beautiful, beautiful packaging. The packaging and the labeling in the bottles are just gorgeous.
Yeah.
And the whiskey really matches. It's not one or the other. It's both.
I think we're all fanboys here today. Justin?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty damn cool. I got raspberries.
So effusive.
Raspberries on the nose, marshmallows. And it kind of reminded me of Fruit Loops mixed with Lucky Charms.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Is it yellow?
What is your favorite word?
Yeah, give me your favorite one. Yellow.
Brown.
Yeah.
Brown is the favorite word, but today it's yellow.
Yeah.
I don't get Fruit Loops or Lucky Charms. And, dude, I have a 6-year-old. I know what those taste like.
It's just what I
You
got
only
on
know
the
what they
nose.
taste like when they're stale and you find them underneath the seat of your car. That doesn't count.
Yeah, these are fresh
That's my
from the
wife's
grocery
car,
store.
Bob. That's my wife's car.
and French fries from unknown origin or
That's freedom fries.
The French
Son.
fries between the seat and the center console.
they don't go bad. They're like Twinkies. You can find one
from
9 years
McDonald's,
from
they
now.
don't
They
go
still
bad.
They
fine.
never go bad.
Nah, 50-year fries are fine.
Dang Skippy.
So-
like none of you have eaten one of those. Kiss
course.
my butt.
Extra crunchy. They're crispy.
And I got dark brown sugar, and I definitely got ginger, but I was really sad when Gilligan's Island ended. And clove spice was really good, and it had a long, sweet finish, so I enjoyed it.
It's beautiful, beautiful whiskey. Just go buy it if you can find
Yeah,
it.
the
It's
sherry-
the secondary market on this is going to be huge, though.
The sherry, again, it's like we always talk about when you're blending. Some sherry bombs are just too much sherry. Some of them, it's sherry with whiskey in it. The art is taking the sherry and filling the holes.
I'm not averse to sherry bombs, but this is this is not.
But
This is
the
not.
art is taking the Swiss cheese and filling those holes where the sherry needs to go, and that's what he's done here.
He's done a great whiskey.
It's a stunningly good
Very
example.
well balanced. Just
It's so
beautifully
perfectly
balanced.
done.
Again, Pete, we curse
Yeah.
you. How many stars or
5 sips.
5 sips?
Oh my goodness.
Stars?
Stars, whatever.
You new here? Schmuck. Hey, and we're back, and we're discussing whiskeys from Compass Box, and we're moving on to our next one. Harm's going to tell us about that one.
Okay, our next product is Compass Box Stranger and Stranger, 46% ABV, non-chill filtered, no color added. After a decade of collaborating with the design company Stranger and Stranger, so the people whose packaging we love, they chose to name a limited edition whiskey in their honor. They started out with some year-old grain spirit they'd used to season some experimental American oak barrels. This was intended to be a sacrificial spirit. You know, they normally pour this stuff out, but it turned out to be so good, they decided to start the recipe for this new limited edition blend with it. The expression consists of 80% Glenlawsey, aged in recharred hogsheads, 14% Glen Elgin in recharred barrels, 5% Linkwood, aged in sherry butts, and 1% of the grain spirit from Girvan, and it's aged 1 year in an experimental oak barrels, American oak barrels that were filled, that were then into a refill hogshead. And there's only 4,800 two bottles of this worldwide.
So you can see that the releases are tiny, and this one's bigger than some and smaller than others.
Yeah, exactly.
But the interesting talk about
it's corn and wheat. This
tail
1%.
wagging the dog.
Yeah.
1%. They came up with this 1% that they didn't want to throw away and decided to build a recipe around a whiskey with 1%. The tail wagging the dog.
Okay, so the interesting thing about this is when you buy this, because they're using a whiskey that's under 3 years old, it legally cannot be called Scotch. It is a Scotch-based spirit. It does not say the
I
word
think
Scotch on the
It's
box.
whiskey. Scotch. Is it considered a whiskey?
It's a whiskey.
Yeah,
but
it's a
not
whiskey.
Scotch.
Yeah, but you can't call it Scotch. So doesn't matter. All that matters is what it tastes like.
The
So what does it
packaging is
taste like?
gorgeous. We don't have a full bottle here in front of us, but I've got a few at the shelf. And
Well,
take some home.
What's it taste like?
The data sheet says Scotch malt whiskey blended with wheat and barley spirit.
Yeah, there you go. But you can't call it a Scotch. Anyway,
malt
so
whiskey
it's a
blended.
bright gold, and the nose is all about apples, vanillas, and pears. And on the palate, let me taste again. It is sweet. Fresh apple fruit, a little bit of custard. There's some herbs coming at the end. I don't know what the hell they are, but it's a nice whiskey.
It's gotten better in the glass. I didn't love it when I poured it.
I had to add. You had to add water when it first poured it out because it's not because of the proof, but just to bring out some more of the flavors. The nose was muted when I first poured it. It's pretty. It's a very pretty whiskey. Brent, what did you think? Did you agree? Pretty? No.
No. No, I did not like this one. This one wasn't for my palate.
Not at all.
The Strange and Stranger really was Strange and Stranger for me. The
Stranger and Stranger.
Yeah. Stranger and Stranger. It just didn't fit my palate. The fruits were off. The sugars were off. Everything was off on it for me. And, I was one that was put off for me.
Do we have any left?
Yeah.
Can I have
Justin?
yours?
So
There you go.
on the nose, I got like aloe malt and lemons.
Aloe malt.
What's an aloe malt?
What is it?
Aloe. It's like the stuff you put on a wound.
Aloe. Oh, so
Aloe, comma, malt. Yeah.
Aloe, comma, malt, and lemons. And
lemons. I got no lemon.
The palate's like what everybody else said, and the finish was long and herbal.
Yeah, what he said.
Yeah. So it was all right.
That's your review too.
That's my review.
I love this whiskey. I thought it was really kind of okay when it came out of the glass, and I agree with Brent for a moment. Out of the bottle, excuse me. Strange. But honestly, in the glass, and now an hour later, it's fabulous.
Evolves. It evolves.
It's fabulous.
It's a good whiskey.
Yeah. Little air, little water. Ooh.
And those violets that I was loath to put down in the previous one are coming out here too.
Well, we're going to be rating the Stranger and Stranger 4 sips.
That's classified.
Yeah, I would agree. I originally thought 3, but 4 all the way.
All right, so we're going to move on to our next whiskey, and this one is the Compass Box Tobias and the Angel. Again, another stunning bottle with, I forget the artist and everything, but it's...
Verrocchio.
Yeah, Verrocchio. So it's a painting. It's a painting produced by Andrea del Verrocchio Studio in Florence in the 15th century. As was common at the time, however, Tobias and the Angel showcases the talents of several artists. For example, the little dog, its graceful and minutely observed curls of hair, and the gleaming fish carried by Tobias were both painted by a young Leonardo da Vinci. So
he was 12 when he painted that.
Yeah.
He is pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder what happened to that guy, Leonardo.
He's making movies now, isn't he?
He's a turtle, right?
Yeah, he's making a movie. He's got that boat that all the chicks are on. Right. Yeah,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'd like to see that boat. Now him and Spider-Man. What's his name? Toby. Yeah. So this expression consists of 49.1% Kalila and aged in a refill bourbon hogshead with 50.1% Clynelish aged in a refill bourbon hogshead. So, it's got...
Those numbers don't add up.
What? 50.1 and 49.1? They don't add up.
Yeah.
It makes 99.2.
Yeah.
Where's the 0.8?
That's my question.
It's undisclosed.
Undisclosed. Or somebody didn't add it right. Whatever.
Spit.
Go ahead, Bob.
Well, it came off of their website, so they were probably drinking when they were doing it.
Oh, there's more. Wait, there's more. Sorry.
This has got
give that back.
This has got just the faintest hint of smoke to
A
it.
little bit left.
No, I'm sorry. I don't want that one.
And it's more of a campfire-y smoke. It's not that medicinally peaty kind of smoke. It's more...
Well, Kalila is not medicinal. So.
Yeah, it's more... Yeah, again, like I said, it's more like the campfire, burning wood. It's got a lovely nose.
Smoke's blown off a little bit. It's mellowed a little in the glass. It was really smoky right out of the bottle.
You guys...
It's got some
first
really
you got
nice...
the smoke in the one I got smoke in. Now you got... There's too much smoke here. There's not too much smoke.
Nah, it's beautiful. It's just the right amount of smoke. It's not overbearing. It doesn't cover everything up. There's some really nice ripe red fruit in here. Get a little bit of an herbal characteristic to it. Almost.
Yeah, I got violets again.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of there's a big floral note on the finish as it goes down. Yeah, lovely whiskey. What'd you think, Arm?
I just agree with what you said, dude. Everything you said, there's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Everything you said was good. But on the finish, one thing I noticed, it builds. It just builds in waves of smoke. And maybe I know for a fact I know who that does not appeal to. So,
would you be talking about me?
I'm looking right at you, man. Tell me.
Nobody's ever talking about you.
Because I got the berries, but this one, for me, it had, I know there's people that love the smoke, but this one for me was too much. And the reason I say too much is because it dried out my tongue. I kind of felt like I had to scrape my tongue, because of the smoke. It wasn't,
I think there's enough fruit to balance out that smoke.
Not for me, it wasn't.
I agree with Brent. I thought that this one was not as balanced as some of the other ones he's done. If you like just smoke, great. But honestly, this is a very expensive whiskey. It's a very rare whiskey. And honestly,
it's around $500 a bottle.
Yeah, but there's other stuff here that's half that price that's more balanced and more approachable.
Well, you're two twits who don't like smoke, so there's your problem.
I love this whiskey.
And you're two twits who spend anything just to get more smoke.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? Yeah,
Justin, what do you think?
So on the nose, I got big campfire peat in the beginning.
Big butts, did you say?
No big butts. I cannot lie. And then it just devolved to smoke.
Devolved. I like that word.
Evolved. It evolved. It not devolved.
No, it devolved.
No, it devolved because
Oh,
it became simpler, just smoke instead of the big campfire peat after a while.
This is not a medicinal Isla, even though there's Kalila here. You've got Western Highlands.
Okay, let's agree to disagree.
Okay. Next whiskey. You're right, Bob.
What do we rate
All
it?
right.
Oh,
Well,
sorry, rating.
under protest because of the two schmucks here who don't like smoke, we only gave it 3. But Harm and I both liked it a lot more than
Yes,
these two
we did.
heathens. So,
I spit on your graves one day.
yes,
Assuming I'm alive.
I'm not spitting.
I'm not
It's-
betting on that.
It's something else. All right, so we're going to move on to our next one, and we're going to have Mr. Testy Den at the end of the table. That's not too much smoke. We're going to have him tell us about it.
Well, excuse the hell out of me.
They don't see the table, but
Whiny
that's
little
good old. I'm sorry, Made Man Maury. Made Man Maury.
Okay, well, thank you, ladies. Our next product will be the Compass Box Flaming Heart, 48.9% ABV, non-age stated, non-chill filtered, and no added coloring. This 2018 edition is the 6th release, Harmeet, not the 3rd, not the 2nd.
We have the 6th.
The 6th release of Flaming Heart.
I need more of this then.
And reintroduced in a subtle sherry cask influence that adds an additional layer of complexity and richness. This expression consists of 39% Colila, aged in refill barrels, 29% Deanston, been there, cool place, aged in refilled hogsheads, 11% Kleinlish, aged in recharred hogsheads, 8% undisclosed Highland malt, aged in custom heavy toast French oak casks, and 7% undisclosed Highland malt, aged in a mixture of first fill sherry butts, custom French oak casks, and refilled American oak barrels. That's a mouthful. And 6% Kleinlish aged in refilled hogsheads. This release was 15,050 bottles. For the first time, a limited release of 800 large format magnums. So that's cool.
Oh my God! I need to buy this. Pete, where
You
are
need
you?
a
Why did you not
Magnum.
send me this now?
You gotta have magnums on display in your shop.
Harmeet doesn't need a Magnum.
Oh, you
Okay. This is a great this is a smoky whiskey for non-peat lovers, I think. I've always loved Flaming Heart. Like Brent, I'm not a big smoky peaty whiskey fan. This I think is beautiful.
It's the Rona coming out of me.
It's got a nice golden color with glints of copper. It's got a beautiful nose, and with time in the glass, the smoke blows off and you get all the fruity notes on the nose and deliciousness. It's got baking spice on the palate. It's got a sweet maltiness. It's definitely got a medium smoke and a medium to long finish. A beautiful whiskey. There's a reason why it's in its 6th edition. It may or may not be going away, but it is a limited release. If you see it, buy it.
They don't release it every year. They don't.
This is the difference between this one and our previous one. This one is so well balanced.
Yeah.
As far as the
But
fruit.
this is much heavier on the smoke.
Yeah,
No,
but it's
no, no,
but
it's more balanced.
It's
You
more
get
balanced
sweet and malt and stuff up front
You
and
get
then
so
smoke at
much
the end.
more. Right, exactly. It is very well balanced as far as the smoke goes. It's not overpowering with smoke. It's not overpowering with fruit. It's just a really nice balance.
I swear to God,
it feels
you guys
great.
mixed up your glasses.
It feels
No,
great in
no,
your
no,
mouth.
no.
It feels great in your mouth. It's got a great mouthfeel. It's got a great lingering finish.
Yeah.
It's
That's
a
what she
huge
said.
difference. It's a huge difference in it. And I really enjoyed this one. This one was a very pleasant one for me. Even with the smoke, I loved it.
Does anybody have a
This is your last
contrasting
rating?
opinion
Yeah,
that it was a great whiskey?
Now, if you don't like this, there's something broken deep in your soul.
Fine.
So
How many sips?
we're gonna rate this 4 sips.
That's classified.
Way to go, Brent.
So we're gonna move
You and
on
I
to
tipped
our
the scales. We tipped the scales.
tip the scales. Yeah, you two fat bastards tip the scales every time you go to Publix.
Of a very smoky whiskey, and this is amazing. So that tells you need to go buy
It was a
this.
good balanced whiskey.
All right, Harm.
Whatever. Where are we at?
We're on our last one now.
We got to find the page. No Name number 2. So I have
Hold
some
on.
No Name one.
No Name?
No Name. It's called No Name. So on this, the
Hold on.
packaging.
It's the man with no name.
Oh, I know this music. I have this on DVD. Not that I've ever used a DVD in 5 years, but whatever.
What's a DVD?
It's
DVD?
a coaster. They're those shiny coasters I have out.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, so Compass Box, No Name. The first release was 75.5% Ardbeg that was purchased from Doers. I wasn't supposed to tell you any of that. That's a secret that you can only get when you direct message.
Secret. But you're letting out secrets.
The new packaging is different. It's a canister instead of a box. And this is No Name number 2. And this is my first time tasting it. And I'm very happy to be tasting it today. So No Name number 2 is the recreation of the first one, which they only had very few barrels of. It's a 48.9% ABV non-age statement, non-chill filtered, no color, obviously. This expression is made from 70.5% Kalila, not Ardbeg. They couldn't get that Ardbeg. Aged in refill sherry butt. 10.5% Talisker, aged in recharred American oak hogshead. 13.5% Klein Leash in a recharred American oak hogshead. And 0.5%, 0.5% of undisclosed Highland malt, which is probably the same undisclosed Highland malt we can't say. And it's all finished in a French oak to add an underlying tone of richness, and I would argue more spice. And this was an 8,000 bottle release, which is like, I think 5 times what the first release of No Name was. It's got the whole top of the bottle is covered with golden wax.
It's a gorgeous package.
Gorgeous packaging, black and gold labeling. It says No Name in English on one side, and on the other side it has the Viking runes. Runes. Did I say runes?
Really? May I see that?
These are Viking runes. Here you go. You don't know your rune craft? Come on, man.
You're ruining me.
All right. The color. It is a pale gold with a little green glint. And on the nose, it's butter, cake batter, and smoke. It's like you're
on drugs.
You're outside, and you are at a you've got a bonfire going, or you've got a small campfire going, and the smoke is coming off it. And your wife or whoever makes your cakes comes out with a bowl of cake batter, and you're smelling that cake batter, and you smell smoke. Cake batter, smoke, and yellow fruit. It's huge. And anyway, I loved it. What do you guys think? Brent, go.
Okay, this one here is really nice because this one has a spiciness to it that blends in with the smoke. Not so much the fruitiness of the last one. This one has got a little bit more spice and the smoke. Very much enjoyed it. Justin?
Well, I found this kind of really interesting, really well balanced. They got malt, apples, and pears on the nose. On the palate,
Thank you, Justin, for all that wordiness today.
Apple and tangerine, and it was a long, sweet finish.
Tangerine, I didn't get. Maury?
I agree with Brent. I thought it was nicer than the last one. I think it's got a lot of smoke. Well-made whiskey. Beautiful.
Bobby Joe? I'm sorry, I went too long.
I think it's absolutely stunning.
Yeah. Buy it.
I need a bottle. That's all I can say. We're giving it 4 sips. Under protest.
Under protest, exactly, man.
Well, that's all the time we have for today with these smoke-hating heathens. We hope you enjoyed this episode. You can catch all of our episodes where you found this one, as well as on terrestrial and satellite radio, and online at iTunes, Google Play.
We're still on terrestrial radio?
Yep. iHeart. We just added 18 stations in Canada.
Sweet.
iHeartRadio, CBS Radio, Radio.com, Spotify, SoundCloud, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, and about 40 others I'm not going to read to you. The easiest way to find this on your show, to find this show on your phone, is to whoever the woman is that talks back to you when you talk to your phone. Not that voice that's in your head, Harm, but the actual voice that comes out of the phone.
All the time.
Just tell them to play podcast Sip Suds and Smokes. We love your feedback. You can reach us online at info@sipsudsmokes.com. Our daily tasting notes flow out on Twitter every day at Sip Sud Smokes, and our Facebook page is always buzzing with lots of news. You'll be able to interact with the thousands of other fans on those social media platforms. You can also check us out on Instagram at Sip Suds and Smokes and at Made Man Bob. Want to thank our co-hosts for joining us. Thank you, Brent.
It's always been a pleasure to be here. I'm not wearing any pants.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, we know. Thank you, Maury.
Thank you, Bob. Awesome day.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you, Bob. And thanks to all of you, so you are listening so that we can be drinking.
Thank you, Harm.
I can hear the sarcasm in your voice when you say thank you. But I want to say thank you to
Modesty
Pete.
forbids my continuing.
I want to say thank you to Pete Friello for sending these great whiskeys. A bunch of them are no longer available on the market. So you're going to be paying secondary if you find them. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
Again, if you don't like Compass Box or something broken in your soul, I mean, great stuff. great blends, doing some really great stuff. So for Sip, Suds, and Smokes, it's Made Man Bob. Thanks for joining us. Remember, life's too short to drink bad whiskey.
This has been a One Tan Hand production of Sip, Suds, and Smokes, a program devoted to the appreciation of some of the finer slices of life. From the Dude in the Basement Studios, your hosts, the Good Old Boys, will see y'all next time.